have their mics on, and please speak clearly into the microphone and so that everyone can hear. Director Kang, could you give us a roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Hill is absent with notice. Commissioner Beamsterfer? Here. Commissioner Lemke?
Present.
Vice Chair Van Arsdale?
Here.
And Chair Worth is absent with notice.
Please stand and with me, and we'll do the invocation and flag salute. The invocation first. Oh Lord, in this world of turmoil and things going on that we cannot control and cannot help, let us be ever mindful of what is going on in Ukraine. Please help protect and keep President Zelensky and the people of Ukraine and all those who are trying to help. Keep us mindful of the peace and quiet that we are enjoying in our own city. Help us to be mindful of the decisions that we make. Let them be for the greatest good of all. Through Christ's name, amen. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is the approval of the minutes. Are there any questions or additions for the minutes from the last meeting?
No. I'd like to recommend to approve the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting, March 1st, 2022.
I'll second.
Please vote. Next, we have public comments. At this time, any members of the public can comment on items that are not on the agenda for tonight. If there's anyone who has any comments regarding this, the comments will be limited to 3 minutes or less. Comments should be directed to the commission as a whole and not directed to individuals. Please take note that the commission can take no action on items that are not on the agenda, and please follow the adopted rules of decorum. Are there any folks who'd like to speak on items not on the agenda? Is there anyone online that would like to speak?
I have callers online, but I don't show anyone responding, and I did not receive any e-comments.
So the next item is public hearing items. The public hearing process, excuse me. The public hearing process is each of the public hearing items will be conducted in the following manner. The staff will present the project. The commission will question the staff. The chairman will open the public hearing, and the comments or presentations by the applicant will be heard. Then comments from the public will be heard, and the commission will question the commission can question the applicant, speakers, or staff. The chairman will close the public hearing, and the commission will discuss the action of the public hearing item. Item number 6A, the extension of time on number 21-006 for tentative track map 35392.
Good evening, commissioners, chair, staff, and members of the public. I'm presenting extension of time 21-005. And the owner is Page Strata. The applicant is the Pulte Group. And the location is Thornton Avenue at Fisher Street. And this is for 48.45 gross acres, 43.82 net acres. Pursuant to Subdivision Map Act and the Hemet Municipal Code, the city may, but is not required to approve time extensions. No changes to the project or conditions may be proposed unless agreed upon by the applicant. Tentative track map number 35392 was approved by the City Council on March 10th, 2009, in conjunction with a specific plan amendment and 2 other subdivision maps. Tentative track map 35392 was for the subdivision of 48.45 acres into 155 residential lots. Here we have an aerial view of the track map. And this is Thornton Avenue, Fisher, Stetson Avenue, New Stetson. And this is Mountain Shadows, an existing residential, and the Del Webb is over here. Here we have the general plan land use, showing this as low density residential. We have the zoning. This property is in the Page Plaza, Page Ranch specific plan. And this is a specific plan showing the legend and the type of density that was approved. The Pulte Group is proposing some modifications to the approved tentative tract map that require a determination that the proposed map changes are in substantial conformance with the approved subdivision. Substantial conformance determinations are normally reviewed and approved at staff level by the city engineer and community development director. But because some of the conditions of approval are also being modified, it requires the planning commission approve the modified conditions and find the map to be in substantial conformance with the tentative tract map. Here are the modifications that are being proposed. There was a shift in this property line 30 feet to the west due to resurveying, which impacted some of the lots here, shifting everything over 30 feet. This is the addition of a water quality basin where normally there were some residential lots here. And then the bulb of the cul-de-sac moving to the south rather than the north. The other modification was to conditions of approval, which proposed a condition from New Stetson to the existing Stetson for there to be a connection. And this was condition number 114 that was added to the conditions of approval as proposed. The Pulte Group is currently acquiring the property from Strata Equity Group. A 2-year extension would provide Pulte time to purchase a property and to submit development plans to the city of Hemet for 150 single-family homes and improvements to the site. However, over the past 10 years, the state of California has passed numerous Assembly and Senate bills to extend the life of residential subdivisions due to the downturn of the economy in 2009. In review of the past extension history on the subject property, staff discovered that the extensions were miscalculated. As a result of the 2 previous extensions requested, extension 18-002 and extension 20-001, combined with the state law extensions, the current expiration date for tentative tract map 35392 is March 10th, 2025. Both staff and the applicant were unaware at the time of application submittal. However, because this application also includes modifications to the conditions of approval and requests for substantial conformance determination, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission review and process the extension of time, EOT 21-005, request with a revised expiration date of March 10th, 2027. The applicant has been notified of the change and is in agreement with the extension of time as proposed. Please note that this would be the final extension available. This is a table indicating the timeline. And just to review quickly, these are the bills that were passed and the date they were passed. So Bill 1185 was for 12 months, but this particular map did not qualify, so the expiration date stayed the same. Assembly Bill 333 did qualify, so it was increased by 2 years. Again here, 208 increased by 2 years, increased here by 2 years, increased here by 2 years. An extension of time gave it 2 more years. This extension, which was not calculated, gave it another 2 more years. So as you can see, with the extensions and with the assembly bills, we are now at 2025. With the present extension of time, it would be, expiration would be till 2027. So approving this extension of time would give it the expiration date of 3/10/2027, 48.45 acres, 150 single-family lots, 6,000 square foot minimum, 13 open spaces, 2 water quality basins, the addition of condition number 114, connecting new Stetson to existing Stetson, replotting of lots on the east due to resurveying, with a 30-foot shift to the west in the direction of the cul-de-sac. Property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius were notified of the public hearing with a 10-day hearing notice. The hearing was advertised in the press enterprise, and to date, we had no comments from the public, or staff received no comments. A subsequent environmental impact report previously prepared for the project identifying the project's potential significant environmental impacts, mitigation measures, and analyzing the project alternatives was prepared. A mitigation monitoring program has been prepared and adopted for those mitigation measures proposed in the SEIR. The city council certified the final SEIR in March of 2009, and the extension of time does not propose any changes to the map requiring additional environmental review. The recommendation is that the Planning Commission approve extension of time 21-005 for a 2-year extension, approving the modified conditions of approval and finding tentative track map 35392 to be in substantial conformance with the original approved map. This concludes my presentation, and the applicant is here to answer questions as well as staff.
Thank you. Does the commission have any questions?
No.
You don't? Okay, I do have a question. Regarding that connector on Stetson. So the old Stetson Road, would you mind putting that up? Okay, yeah, that one, the next one, there you go. So presently, that is the present one that goes straight across, right?
Right here.
And then what the new Stetson Road would do is come down there and dump out over onto Warren Road?
No, at Stetson would end before connecting to Warren, as planned by the map.
All right. Does the applicant have anything that they'd like to say? Sure. Thank you. If you could give your name and address for the record, if you like. I'm sorry. Open the public hearing. Applicant.
My name is Matthew Matson with the Pulte Group,
Oh.
representing this tentative track map 35392. The applicant, we request approval of the extension of time and the substantial conformance. However, we would like to have time to work with engineering staff to come up with the language that both of us could agree upon. There's certain language within this condition of approval that we would like to modify, such as the southwest bound travel lane from Stetson, and also all improvements shall be constructed prior to granting the first occupancy of a residence on easterly side of Fisher Street. Those two things.
So would you be requesting more time for us to make a decision? Or are you requesting us to, I don't, what would be best?
Since I don't have engineering represented here, it would be best if we continue the item and bring it back for you, and we can continue to a date specific.
Okay.
That
And
work for
before
you?
we decide that, we'll let the public, because this is a public hearing, we can open it and continue it. Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this matter?
Did receive any comment?
Okay.
And I'll read it aloud right now. It is from Ralph Greider. I attended the city council meeting on August 1, 2017. In that meeting, they discussed the same track 35392. My questions are, will Thornton be extended from Fisher to Warren? Will the new Stetson Avenue be created as proposed in 2017? Will this new addition impact the drainage ditch canal that extends from Fisher to Warren, that is located just north of the Solera Diamond community? Will this be single family or 55 plus community? Thank you for your answers, Ralph Greider.
Do you want us to answer that question now, or shall we? It sounded like one or two of those would be an engineering question.
Correct. And I'm trying to communicate with the city engineer, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to get on the call at this point. So it might be best that we bring it back.
So
for
we
the
would
item.
bring it back, but we would bring it back prepared to answer those questions.
That is correct.
Okay.
Lori HB, I have my engineer here.
Oh.
If you would like to hear from her on those questions.
That
we
would
can do
be,
that.
that would be great. I think we need our engineer to concur, but that, please.
Evening. My name is Candace Fenton, and I'm with Michael Baker International. I'm the project manager and engineer on this project for track 35392. I'm going to try to remember and cite the questions that were asked by Ralph Ryder. The first question was, will Thornton Avenue be extended from Fisher Avenue to Warren Road? I believe that was the first question. Can I have that confirmed? Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, that was the first question.
Thornton Avenue is not intended to be extended to Warren Road. It will go into a T-shape intersection as it does today for the knuckle down to Corte Alamondo, I think it's the name. I might have that incorrect, but it's close to that. Can you cite the second?
Second question, will the new Stetson Avenue be created as proposed in 2017?
Not familiar with what was proposed in 2017, so I cannot answer that. And may I have the third?
Third question, will this new addition impact the drainage ditch canal that extends from Fisher to Warren, that is located just north of the Solera Diamond community?
So those portions are, I'm not certain which hydrology channel you're referring to because there are multiple. So we will have to get back to you on that.
And the fourth question, will this be single family or 55 plus community?
Addition to be single family residential. That would be per the last substantial conformance.
That was the last question.
Last, I didn't hear you.
I believe that is per the last substantial conformance.
Any other questions that were online?
I did not receive any other comments.
Comments from staff before we,
I'm trying to get Steve on the line, but
okay.
No questions.
Is there a motion to continue? Yes. If you'd like to speak, please come to the mic. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And we just need your name and address if you like.
Thank you. My name is Bradley Hyman. I think maybe the first question I have might be for the applicant's engineer based on what she just mentioned. You said that Thornton Avenue is not going to be continued to Warren. Right now, it's a knuckle, but instead it's going to become a T. That T would, to the left, go into the existing Solera Diamond Valley community. To the right, would that go into the new Pulte community? And do we know if there's any stop signs, signals, traffic control that's proposed for that point?
So this is Candace Fenton again. You're correct. It is currently a knuckle situation. It will be a T intersection. I'm not sure we can pull back up the map on the projector this time. Most likely it will be a stop sign that will be placed at that intersection on Thornton Avenue, and it'll be a through street on the Corte Alamonte. Thank you. Yes. Does that answer your question? Okay, great.
Great.
One more question that would probably be for the commission. I wasn't aware of the new Stetson being developed. That's just my ignorance. But based on what I heard tonight, is this new Stetson simply being built as a way to get in and out of this new Pulte community? It sounds like it starts at Old Stetson and ends before it gets to Warren. And there's nothing else there other than this new Pulte community. So is that what the purpose of this new Stetson is?
Could we get staff to?
Sure. We do have Steve Larissa on the line. So Steve, if you can answer that question.
Yeah, so New Stetson is being constructed as part of this development, sort of between Warren Road and then to the east, to the easterly end of the development, as a condition of approval. But did that answer your question?
Partially, because you just said from Warren Road, and I think we had heard earlier in the meeting that it was not going to be extended to Warren Road, which led me to believe that it was only going to be extended as far as the new Pulte community was. Is it going to be extended to Warren Road?
You are correct. It is not being extended to Warren Road. It is pretty much just to the limits of the Pulte community.
So New Stetson will function as a way to get in and out of the Pulte community.
Yes.
Okay, that answered my question.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you for the time.
you're welcome. Are there any other questions? Did you have one, sir? Please. We just have to record them here. You're on recording.
Robert Weiss from the Solera Diamond Valley, president of the HOA. Now, the new Stetson is, I presume what I'm hearing is only going to be like a 2-lane, because I remember at one time it was going to be a 4-lane going to Warren and then straight west. Is it going to be 4 lanes or just a 2 into the community?
Steve, can you answer that?
Steve, are you on?
I am here. I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the plans quickly to make sure I give you the correct answer. So New Stetson eventually will be 6 lanes all the way through, but that's part of a distant project. For the time being, the applicant, or Pulte in this case, will be doing the south side of the street, and will be doing the full width of the south half plus a lane on the north side of the street. So there'll be 3 lanes in the eastbound direction adjacent to the development, plus 1 lane in the westbound direction.
That answer your question?
Did that?
Yeah, this answers my question. The last one I had is last week, a person from the gas company was out talking about the lines that are currently in place for Solero Diamond, that apparently the lines are ready to go in to be attached to when they start construction. And I would hope that the correct meters are put on that and all, because we're still fighting with Southern Electrical on one meter that they're saying belongs to them, which they haven't taken over, and we're paying for it. So I'd like to make sure that when they start construction, that the utilities are correctly charged to them and together that way correctly.
Clear.
This is Matt with Pulte Homes. Yes, we agree with the HOA president, and we will make sure that everything is done above par.
Thank you. That's great. And in a market like we've got today, I would think you're not going to wait until 2027 to build. That would be my guess, but okay. All right. Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Is there a motion to continue? Oh, okay. Sure.
If Steve is still on the phone or on the line,
Yes.
I'm not sure what his thought was on meeting with him and speaking more about that condition of approval 114.
We could have you guys maybe get together outside of this meeting to set
Okay.
up your meeting. Okay. So Steve, before you got on, they had requested to have a meeting to go over that condition he just mentioned.
114.
Yes, and so we were going to look at a continuance for this public hearing to possibly the next meeting. So that would be a 2-week period. 2-week period, basically, for you guys to get together to get his questions answered.
I don't see that being a problem. In fact, if it's something that you need an answer from me tonight, I can just take a look at it to make sure I'm familiar with it. But if you'd like 2 weeks, then that's perfectly fine too.
If you have time tomorrow or later on this week, I'm available, whatever your schedule is, Steve.
Okay. All right. I will review it and reach out to you along with HP and discuss it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
I move that we continue, sorry, I lost it. The extension of time 21-005, requesting a 2-year extension and finding the proposed changes on the subsequential conformance with original approval of tentative map track 35392 to the next meeting,
Which
Okay,
will be
there's-
April 5th.
Second, pardon me?
Which will be April 5th.
April 5th.
April 5th. All right, there's been a motion and a second to continue this public hearing item. Leave it open, but continue this public hearing item to April 5th. Please vote. Okay, thank you. Item 6B, extension of time for number 22002. It's a good thing it wasn't on 2/22/22, requesting a 2-year extension for phase 4 of the tentative track map 35393.
The owner of the property is Kennedy Lewis Investment Holdings. The applicant is Lennar Homes of California. The location is the southwest corner of Mustang Way and Fisher Street, and this is 35.93 acres. The applicant is requesting a 2-year extension of time for phase 4 of tentative track map 35393 for the subdivision of 35.93 acres into 145 single-family residential lots, 4 open spaces, 1 water quality basin, and on-site and off-site improvements. Pursuant to the Subdivision Map Act and the Hemet Municipal Code, the city may but is not required to approve the time extension. No changes to the project or conditions may be proposed unless agreed upon by the applicant. Here we have an aerial view showing the section of the map we are referring to as Phase 4. This shows the general plan land use, and it shows it as low-density residential. This is the zoning map showing this is in the Page Ranch specific plan. And this is a specific plan zoning showing the residential and the density. Tentative track map 35393 was approved by the City Council on March 10th, 2009, in conjunction with a specific plan amendment and 2 other subdivision maps. The original map was for 103.9 acres into 448 residential lots. Lennar purchased phases 1 through 3 and finalized that section of the map and has ongoing construction of 294 single-family homes in phases 1 through 3 of that map. Lennar Homes is in the process of purchasing track map 35393 and filing phase 4 of the map. However, the map will not be finalized until after the March 10th, 2022 expiration date. However, over the past 10 years, the state of California has passed numerous Assembly and Senate bills which extend the residential life of residential subdivisions due to the downturn of the economy in 2009. In review of the past extension history for the subject property, it was discovered that the extensions were miscalculated. As a result of 2 previous extensions of time, 18003 and 20-002, combined with state law extensions, the current expiration date of the tentative track map is March 10th, 2025. Both staff and applicant were unaware of the time at the time of the application submittal, and the applicant was notified of the change and is in agreement with the extension of time as proposed. Please note, this would be the final extension available. Again, this table shows the assembly bills, the criteria, whether this map qualified, and the expiration dates. Right now, we are here. And if this extension of time is approved, we'll be at March 10, 2023.
2027 or 2025?
Sorry, 2027. Property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius were notified of the public hearing with a 10-day hearing notice. The project was also advertised in the press enterprise, and to date, staff has not received any comments for or against the extension of time. There was a subsequent EIR that identified potential environmental impacts, mitigation measures, and analyzed the project alternatives. A mitigation program has been prepared and adopted for those mitigation measures, and the City Council certified the final subsequent environmental impact report on March 2009. This extension of time does not propose any changes to the map requiring any additional environmental review. It is recommended that the Planning Commission approve extension of time 22-002 for a 2-year extension of time for phase 4 of tentative track map 35393. This concludes my presentation.
Commission, do you have any questions of staff?
No questions.
Open the public hearing. Any comments by the applicant?
Hi, thank you. I'm Jennifer Brooks representing Lennar Homes. In light of the adjusted extension of time, the year 2025 should be sufficient for us. But to save time and place for another time to not come back in 2027 or 25, then an extension would be available.
You'll get a bonus if you
Yeah.
do finish in there. How's that? Okay.
Better be careful.
I know, really. What's that bonus going to be? Are there any comments from the public regarding this project? Please. Like you to restate your name just so we have it for the record, Mr. Hyman.
My name is Bradley Hyman, and I think I'll address this to the Lennar representative if you know the answers. We had originally heard on the map of your phase 4 or near it that the Hemet Unified School District had considered building a school, an elementary or a middle school or both there. Do you know if that is no longer under consideration? And then my other question, since you're here, do you have any timeline as to when the first 3 phases are going to be complete in their build out?
Thank you.
As far as I am aware, the school is not being built, but I'm new to this project, so I can't answer to that wholeheartedly. And off the top of my head, I cannot recall when phase 1, 2, and 3 are expected to be built out. I believe in 2024, but I would have to check on the month.
I can answer the school district. This property was offered to school district but they have come back to the city and they have declined the property use as a school site.
Yes, and we had the question at the same time, and I went to the school board, a person I know, and she double checked, and that's what I got to. So, okay. Are there any other comments from the public regarding this project? Okay, I'd like to close the public hearing. Is there any other questions from commissioners for staff?
I'd like to make a recommendation that the planning commission respectfully and it adopts planning commission resolution attachment number 1 approving extension of time number 22-002 for a 2-year extension for phase 4 of tentative track map 35393.
I'll second.
Thank you. Please vote. Okay, passes unanimous. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. At this time, we will go to city attorney reports.
City attorney has nothing to report.
Community development reports.
Good evening. So I have a couple items that I wanted to point out. At the last city council meeting, the second reading for the second story design criteria ordinance was approved. Second reading for the outdoor seating parklet for restaurants was approved, as well as the second reading for the adoption of the zoning map change on north of Menlo and west of State was approved. And the second reading for the zoning district change for downtown specific plan, the portion that identified the zone change on Gilbert, that was the only item that you forwarded and council approved that item.
We got some blessings from the council. Thank you. And then future agenda items.
So in the future, we'll be bringing back vehicles miles traveled, the VMT. This was an item that we needed to update to our ordinance. So that'll be coming before you. We do have a Pacific Inland Healthcare as a conditional use permit coming for you, as well as a conditional use permit for a liquor license.
For the healthcare?
For the plaza.
Oh,
liquor.
For the waiting room.
Okay, for the waiting room. Okay. Something new, new kind of marketing for healthcare, huh? Okay, planning commissioners, do you have a report, Mr. Beamstrofer?
Nothing to report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's your job.
That's okay. Commissioner Lemke,
Nothing to report.
Vice Chair Van Arsdale.
Nothing to report. All right, unless you want to sit around and talk about something else, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.